How are you all doing today? Greetings. How's everybody doing? Okay. So there's lots to talk about today, and I'm going to review some stuff that has been going on. There's some updates in there too. But hello, Australia. Greetings, everybody. So, greetings. Okay, so what I'm going to start with here, we're going to get into some Galactic stuff today because I had a chance to listen to Gene Decode, and he was being interviewed by Dr. Siva. And two great podcasters that are out there, and they are doing some really great work all right. Can you speak on the Atlas One? The Atlas One could be a distraction. And like I said, I whatever it is, whatever's happening out there, what I have read into it so far, it's completely harmless. It's here to help bring up the Schumann resonancy of this planet. And I want to say, make it very, very clear, the higher frequency we can go in the love and the light and, hugging people and trying to be out there to help people and just staying positive is driving the demons absolutely crazy. Now, this is why Trump has gone after all the conflicts around the world and brought them to peace accords around the world, because it's bringing up the frequency. There's no more death, no more destruction, no more misery. All that is being taken down. And that is what these, Draco, reptilian, hybrid, humanoid hybrid reptiles, they loosh off of that stuff. They want to see misery and pain and suffering. And now that's going away. So I'm out here asking everybody, stay in the positive light. Stay in a good frame of mind. The things that are bothering you, get rid of them. The things that are causing you headache, and I'm talking about credit cards, everything. Cut them up. Just ignore it all, right? Hello, Lynn, my fellow Canadian. This is really, really important that we do this right now, patriots, because we are winning, okay? And I'm going to say that 85% of the deep underground threat. Give me a second here. 85% of the DUMBs of the central trafficking control systems have been taken out. 70% of the infrastructure, which is the tunnels, the meg trains, and the subterranean travel between continents, have all been they're all staying in place. There are some connectors and whatever that have been taken out because they don't do anything for humanity. This is all positive news. No matter what is happening around the world right now, humanity is working towards a positive light, to a more positive energy. The Schumann resonance, you'll be able to gauge it through that. And we're beating them spiritually. We're beating them by exposing them. We're beating them by being aware they're crap anymore. We're not taking their crap. We're not taking their GMO foods, and we're not taking their petroleum-based, medicines. Sky Prince, she was in danger this morning. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. A lot of this is theatrics. But like I said, who knows what's going on. We just have to pray. Like it says, everybody shove their energy, for Sky Prince, and put your energy out there. And, collectively, we can do this by just praying that we can push all the demons away from her, okay? All those globalist leaders that were forced to meet, they look pissed. Oh, of course they do. They are on their way out. And this whole thing that's going on right now is a positive move. They could not have done this without the patriots and the digital warriors and the anons that are out there. Q was out there dropping the comms. Everybody's been very, very busy at their computers or their phones. And, you are making a huge difference. We are making a huge difference because we're not going to buy into their bullshit no more. Like the financial end of it. Like I said before, this is how it works. I'm going to let you know how the banking system works, okay? This is how they do it, and this is how they keep alive. First, when the Rothschilds came in, they stole, basically in 1913, and I'm not going to make this a long story, but in 1913, they came in and they, told the United States and everybody that was holding gold and silver, and they did it over in Europe as well. They did it or tried to do it in Asia, but they basically traded. They says, here's a U.S. note, $20 for a silver or gold piece, which was also $20 back then. And ever since people started trading it in because they thought it would be easier to handle. It was a promissory note. They had, and any country that was around that allowed these central banks to come in, they started coming in and started operating their nefarious operations that way. Started hoarding the gold and started trading the gold for worthless paper. They're saying, well, don't worry about it. It's gold back until 1971. And then when Nixon took it off the gold standard, and then at that point it just plummeted. Now the U.S. dollar is only worth 3 or 4 cents on the world stage, and Canada's even less than that. So we are actually a negative 38%, or at least 35% negative on the world stage with our money. It's a joke, and the only reason why we're using it right now is because nobody's woken up to it yet, right? But what I'm saying, how they're staying alive is they'll pool all their money. All these central banks will, will be on the lines to each other, and they'll be phoning. They'll say, well, how much you going to put towards, like how much deposit money did you get from the little people, from all the useless eaters? How much money did you get, did you bring in on deposits? And they say, well, we brought in like 4 or 5 million here at this branch and 15 million over in this branch. So they say, okay, let's pool it all together, and we'll go and we'll buy a silver stock. Okay? So they go in there, they buy $100 million or $150 million worth of, or maybe even $200 million worth of silver stock. So what does that do? That drives the price, which was it was right on this phone here. It was at 51.05 before they did that. And when they bought, however they bought, billions of dollars worth, the stock went up to 54.50 silver. Okay? Then they turned around and they got to the stock market. They phoned to the stock market. They say, we want to bet whatever it is, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 billion dollars, whatever it is, shorting the silver. So they put their money on they put their, open the stock on the short, saying that the stock will go down. Then they take all the silver on paper that they bought, because they're not handling silver. It's all bullshit and lies. They'll sell it, and they sell it onto the market, which drives that market back down. So that 54.50 went from there down to 52.16. And then it sat there for the weekend. And they did it. They pulled it off on a Thursday, and the stock went down on a Friday, back down to 52.16. Okay? So there was a $2.50 drop in silver because they manipulated. They did inside trading. Okay? That's illegal. Inside trading to make a whole pile of money on the short. Now, there's a silver lining to this. It's at 52.16. They cannot drop it. They do not have the amount of money that has been stolen basically from you. You call it a deposit. They call it taking it. Okay? And I'm not going to say that the top depositors are part of the problem, because they don't know. They're, the depositors around the world or especially in the States right now, are being manipulated, okay, thinking that the bank is nice and safe to hide their money. And it's not. It's exactly the opposite. Okay? So they make money on your money, and then that's how they get as rich as they do. Now, all that's going to stop. And like I said, there's a silver lining to this. No matter what they've thrown at this thing, when it was 54.50, they still couldn't drive it below $50. It was sitting at 52.16. Now, let's watch it today, okay? And we're going to see when trading starts this afternoon. It'll be late this afternoon when it'll start trading, and that's probably start trading in Asia or Hong Kong, okay? So that means it'll be, 14 hours back this way. So this afternoon, we'll start seeing the trading. And if that shit starts shooting up, we'll know that they can't hang on to it any longer. And this will be the blast off. I believe that this is what's going on. But I tell you, Patriots, I have been watching this carefully all summer. Watching it and seeing with the game that they're playing. And it is so obvious. It'll go high throughout the week. It'll start rising up through the week, and then when it gets to Thursday, Friday, whatever, it'll be right at the top, and then Monday morning it drops, because it gives them all weekend to pool their money and then dump it into the stock market or into the silver market to drop and go short on the silver. They can't do that anymore, because if it goes below $50, well, they can't do it. Obviously, if they had the power to do it, it would go below 50. But it ended up being 52.16, which is $2 over that $50 mark. And what did Bo Pony say? There's going to be nothing holding it. Once they drive it down, if they can't drive it below $50, there's going to be nothing stopping it. And even if you're not a silver holder, you want this to happen, because it's killing the banks. Okay? It's killing the banks. And we want to kill the corruption. And, of course, we're not going to be part of their corruption. The money right now, as we speak, all your deposit money, that's why I said it, all your deposit money is being mirrored, okay, from the corrupt central banking system, and it's going to be mirrored onto the quantum financial system. They're completely severing ties with the central banking system. And you're going to say, well, how do we get access to the quantum financial system? Well, you'll get a phone. The banks that are still open, that will still be open, are being run or controlled by the military. Because if they're not, military will come in and take over all their data and take over, if they haven't already, take over all their deposits, and they will people will be, those depositors will be guaranteed that their money will be safe based on that thing. So there's a very, very close, watchful eye on all the banksters around the world, mainly in the United States. Yeah. Yeah, just keep your questions in capital letters. That would sure help me identify the questions. Credit cards in Canada, do we ask for the 3 agreements? Yeah. If you've written them down, ask for those 3 agreements. If you got creditors after you, just say you want, and if they're typing you or trying to phone you or whatever, just say, I require these 3, the agreement, whatever. I forget what it was. I'm sure everybody's written it down by now. I'm really bad at trying to keep documents and all kinds of literature because things are just moving so fast. Digital ID, it doesn't exist, okay? I mean, the only digital ID we have is what was in our pockets right now, based on the straw man. You're gonna be attached to the quantum financial system. That's gonna be your new ID that's coming. But they need to identify you through your old straw man and then dump the straw man. That's why Trump said some while back, I think it was 3 or 4 months ago, he said, your straw man is dead. And what he meant by that, he says, we've got all the proper documentation to, swing you over to the quantum financial system. Okay. Now, there's a couple of good things have been happening. There's over 5,500 truckers lost their driver's license because they don't know how to speak English. So a lot of this stuff that has been said, that's been going on, is now active. Now, Marines seize Antifa armory in LA ahead of the No Kings Day protests in New York as well. So anything that they're trying to do is just they're getting shut down. Okay. ICE busted legal immigrants posing as ICE agents in Chicago. So, this is how bad it's getting. I mean, they're even trying to steal, uniforms and whatever, dressed up as ICE. I don't even know what their motivation was on that. But, these are insurrectionists, okay? These are NAZI supporters, if not active members, that are trying to bring down the United States. And all they're doing at this point is just exposing themselves. There is going to be more camps, FEMA camps, built or filled with these insurrectionists that was meant for all the patriots out there at one time, but that kind of got blown up in their face. That's all coming. Well, the Vietnamese dong is not doing anything. It's still the same as what it was before. We're all going to be, as soon as the Forex releases all the currencies that are going to be in the first basket, they're going to be, on the front screens, and everybody will be there for, up front and center for everybody to see. But until then, just squirrel it away. Go hide it somewhere. I'm hoping, my best guess on all the foreign currencies, and I think because you have to understand, there's 209 countries. They're not going to dump the whole thing in there. That'll just cause way too much chaos. They might, I don't know, but they're trying to make this. They have spent a lot of time and effort. They spent a lot of time and effort preparing this to make it as seamlessly as possible, okay? And they're not going to disrupt the current way of system of how things are going on right now and the way everybody lives right now. They're not trying to disrupt that. We have to slowly move out of this old matrix system and slowly move into the new world. Okay. Like I said, what about the RV, the dong, the dinar? I mean, it's all the same thing, right? There's so much. They're not going to release anything because we don't want people to be hurt or killed because of what they're getting, okay? And this is why the NDA is so damn important, to keep everybody quiet about this transfer of wealth. And it will be a point, and the military or Trump or whoever's running this show is not satisfied that that the negatives are still. I mean, we can see it they're in the streets right now, right? So there is a lot of activity going on the positive end of it, but maybe that was a selected few. I'm probably going to be the last one to get any type of RV or whatever, because I've been, posting videos every day, helping the awareness of what's coming, But there's so many of us out there that are doing, and we should listen to the positive podcasters and what they have to say, because the information is coming out everywhere right now.